Hello and welcome to Wednesday night. I'm super excited that you are here. I know that still it's a struggle being online instead of being in person, but you know what? We're dealing with it, okay? And I'm super glad that you are here. I want you to do something for me. I want you to lean in for a second. I want you to really focus in because we've got an amazing night tonight. We don't have worship, but we've stripped that away, not on purpose. It's because I didn't communicate with Karen. No big deal. It's actually my fault. But what we do have tonight is two of the most powerful people inside of the youth group. Chelsea, woo woo, everybody, woo woo, and Ian Scott, woo woo, yeah, everybody's cheering. I can hear you from home. I'm so excited. You're so cool. Anyway. But we've got them here tonight for our leadership panel. So blessed to be in ministry with them. Their hearts are so pure when it comes to the gospel, and they love you guys. And they want to do this not because they love Noah, because they love you. So I'm excited that they're here. I want to tell you about something also that's going on is on June 15th through the 19th, we're going to be having a local church camp. Because it's a little bit hazy if we're going to be able to travel to go to a church camp, we're deciding to have a church camp locally. So here at Central, ourselves, our youth group, and some other youth groups are going to band together to actually put on a church camp, like when we go someplace. So it's $25, June 15th through the 19th, and you can email me, Noah at cbcowasso.org to register, and I'll send you the registration form, all that kind of stuff. Really cheap. You get a super bomb t-shirt, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually a little bit more excited about the t-shirt right now than the camp because that's what I've been working on today. But anyway, hey, let's pray and let's get this thing started. Dear God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the opportunity you've given us to come together to learn about you. I pray that you will bless this time as Ian and Chelsea come up here just to share their hearts, to answer some burning questions, God. I pray that you will you'll just take their mouths and be your mouthpiece, God. We love you, Jesus. We always give you the glory. We always give you the praise forever and always. Amen. Let's hear it for Ian and Chelsea. Woo! Yeah, I'm actually going to jump off of screen right now so I can watch the timer and ask them questions. So here are these wonderful people.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm nervous now.
Yeah, nervous?
Like my heart's pitter-pattering.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm not going to ask you any hard questions, I don't think. I don't know. So just to kind of get the blood flowing a little bit, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Schaus. What's up?
I'm Ian Scott.
Chelsea Schaus and Ian Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. So where'd you guys grow up?
Oh, well, I was born in California, lived there for 8 years, moved to Iowa, lived there for 6 years, and then I moved to Owasso and have lived in Oklahoma since I was going into high school, so 2006.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
What about you, Ian?
I was born in Colorado. I lived in Wyoming for a bit. Who do you want me to look at? Do you want me to look at you, or do you want me to look at the camera?
You know what? Look at the camera.
Okay. This is all weird.
It is.
All right. So I was born in Colorado. Lived in Wyoming for the first till kindergarten, and then I moved up to Seattle, Washington, and I lived into Seattle until 19, and from there several places after that. So growing up, primarily Seattle.
Nice. Did it rain as much as it is like? We think it rains all the time in Seattle. Does it really rain all the time in Seattle?
It does, but it doesn't rain like it rains here. So like in Seattle, when it's raining, you can walk, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 blocks and you're not soaking wet because it's just a mist.
Okay.
Like if you did that here, you'd be drenched and
Yeah.
miserable. In
Yeah.
Seattle, it's not like that.
Okay. Here's a question for you guys: pop or soda?
Soda.
What do you call it?
Soda.
Soda.
Yes.
Soda.
Yes.
Like before I left Seattle, it was either or. I don't think we really had a thing, whether it was soda or pop. But once I got down to Texas, I quickly learned that in Texas, it's a Coke.
Even a Mountain Dew is a Coke.
Yes, and then I'll take a Coke. Well, what type of Coke? Mountain Dew. I don't know why, but I had to adjust really quickly.
Okay. So what would you? So you've adjusted, Ian. So what if you're wrong? What if it's called a pop?
But I'm not wrong.
All right. Okay. So what are your pet peeves? So that's a pet peeve for me. So I
So
think
what
it's
do you
pop.
think it's
Pop.
pop?
Pop. 100%. It's a pop.
No, Pop is like, hey Pop, like my dad. Pops. Pop.
So,
no.
but within my household, that's like a debate because Caitlin's like, it's called soda.
Yes.
And I make fun of her because I say she's
Mine
probably
is
watching
the
right
same
now,
thing.
but soda. And but I think it's pop. So pet peeves for you guys, what are they?
Okay.
You go
So here's the thing. This is gonna sound so silly, but people who are riding their bikes in the middle of the road, when there is a sidewalk, drive me insane. When there's a sidewalk, that's what the sidewalk is for, y'all. Like the road is for car drivers and for people who are driving and not going slow. It makes me really mad. I just don't like it. Ooh.
What about you?
I think the thing that probably perturbs me the most, pet peeve right now, I guess, is when you're in the drive-through, and we're all in drive-throughs more right now because we can't go in buildings. And when we're in a drive-through, and the person in front of you is 4 cars, there's like a big giant empty space because they're looking at their phone.
Yeah.
That probably annoys me.
Yeah.
So we were at the drive-thru going to Freddy's, and Henry was in the back, and he's like, it's taking forever. He's tired. He wants his chicken and fries. And he's like, Dad, just honk your horn and ram your car into them. Because he was done. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way, though. Like, no.
That's terrifying, son.
That's his pet peeve, too.
Okay, so you and Henry, you're practically the same person. Okay, so if your life was made into a movie, what would be the title?
That is such a hard question. What would my title of my life?
If your life was made into a movie, what would be the title? I guess an easier way to figure that out though is to understand, is it a comedy? Is it a romance? Is it an action? What would it be? And then you can probably think of a title after that.
I mean, I don't know that it would be a movie. It'd be like, you know how they used to have like the NFL bloopers and it was its own thing, right? I think mine would just be like a blooper reel of really dumb things that I've done. I don't know what you would title that. Just reboot?
Reboot, okay? We're sticking with that one.
Mine would be something like, you're never gonna sleep again. Like, put the kids to bed, watch a little bit of TV, try and go to bed, but oh wait, he wakes up and you gotta put the baby to bed again, and then you go to bed finally, and then the other one wakes up.
Okay.
And then, you know, so yeah. No
So
sleep.
So it's more of a cautionary tale.
Yes, it's like,
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yes,
life
it's
is
a horror movie.
great.
Yeah.
Ready, not a coffee.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so yours should be reboot, and yours should be never gonna sleep again.
Never gonna sleep again.
Never gonna sleep
Never
again.
gonna sleep again.
That makes sense. And you know what? I'm also in that time, except for I get to sleep a lot more than Caitlin. So shout out to all the mothers. I know that it was Mother's Day last Sunday. So whoop whoop. But now moving into a little bit more of a serious question, but still could be a little silly, depending on who it is. But who is your biggest role model?
Well, okay, no, you go. Do you have one?
I don't know about now. I see things that people do that they are in their walk, and I can go, wow, I like that. I mean, there's certain things that I see different individuals doing in their walk, and I respect that. I don't know that I'm at that age where I go, I want to be that person.
No.
And I may want to, exemplify those traits, but not necessarily be that person. But I think growing up, I think role models are really impactful when you're growing up. I had some good role models growing up. It's, my youth pastor and my pastor, senior pastor growing up. They were really good examples of showing Jesus' love. And I don't think I realized that as much as until I get older and one, you experience more senior pastors, and then two, you start interacting and being involved with youth, and I can look back and go, wow, they really showed Christ in an amazing way. So I think those are two.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna say, so like I watched last week, so I heard this question last week. And the first person, I kind of feel weird saying this because I don't know these people personally, but I think Bob Goff is hilarious and so good, and like he just seems so nice and just like I love the little thingies he puts on Facebook, the quotes and stuff, and they just kind of center me. So I like his attitude, the outlook on life. And then I really have been into Stephanie Gretzinger. She came with a new album some time ago, I don't know. But her first one I've been listening to on repeat, because I just love the truth that's in it. It's called The Undoing, and I love just the truth that she speaks in that album. And I was actually listening to it on the way here, and really there was one song, I think it was Promise I Always Will, but it sounds like a love song. It sounds like a love song with to a husband and wife or something like that. And I was thinking, I'm a lot of her songs sound very much like a love song, but she writes from sometimes different perspectives, from God's perspective of he's writing a love song to us. And I love that. It's really neat to get that outlook. And then also kind of like Ian, I say my friends, the people that I walk with in life, they all, I think, have admirable traits, and I look up to them. So.
Cool. I love that. What is something that most of our youth don't know about you?
I don't like prayer circles.
You don't like prayer circles?
I hate holding hands.
Holding hands?
Holding hands, that makes me want to cringe. I won't hold your hand.
Really?
No, thank you, Ian Scott. No, I hate holding hands. I don't even like holding my husband's hand,
what?
honestly. No, we've held hands before.
We've held hands before.
Probably more when we were dating and stuff, but I do not like holding hands.
Okay. So you don't like holding hands.
It gives me
Perfect.
anxiety.
Okay.
Like when someone tells me, okay, Victory Church. I love Victory Church, but they hold hands every single service. Like they have this whole moment of let's pray and hold hands. And the first time I went, I was triggered. I'm like, what? Like I don't know these
Nope.
people, and I have to
Nope.
hold their hands. Ooh, I hate
Okay.
holding hands.
All right. All right.
Oh, there you go.
So you don't like holding hands. I would never have guessed you as someone opposed to holding hands. No.
No.
Ian, what about you?
Some small sidebar on this.
Yeah.
Is Chelsea and I, we've run small groups together for a really long time, and I love to terrorize her with prayer circles.
Oh my goodness.
Like
That is the
seriously, like when someone says prayer circle, my thoughts go really dark real quick.
Oh my goodness.
Like it's bad.
Yeah, cool. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Honestly, what was the question?
What's something that the youth don't know about you?
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, and I killed someone. Completely different.
I don't know. That's a weird question. I think I've been really honest with the youth. A lot about my life. And so I guess some really weird odd facts maybe. Man, I don't know.
What's your favorite food?
I think most of them know that. Probably sushi.
Oh,
How do you get your hair so perfect?
conditioner.
Pompeii,
Okay.
jojoba oil. So yeah, I mean those. I have 2 patents. I think that's it.
Oh,
That is probably something most people
Wait,
don't know.
what?
you have 2 patents.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Good to know.
What is it? Or what are they?
Are we allowed
What
to
are
even
pat-
like ask
what
that
are-
on camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can
Is it
Google
like-
U.S. patent Ian Scott and it'll show up.
What?
That's cool.
Okay. I'm
So
gonna
side
do
note
that.
about the sushi though, your wife, she posted about the sushi bowl that she made. Okay, so
Oh,
I
know
had this.
about that sushi.
I had the bright idea of trying to do that, and I won't do that. It tasted like vinegar, and so Mariki, help teach me your ways, because I just threw it away. I didn't even try it. I'm like, nope, I already know
Nope.
that's wrong.
Yeah, you should have tried it. But one, sushi rice is more expensive than other rice.
Well, it just
Okay.
didn't taste okay.
Oh, you did taste it?
Well, I mean, like, it just, okay, I shouldn't say taste. It didn't smell okay, because I think, I don't know. It said to add vinegar and, like, sugars and stuff. So I did. And,
It
Yeah.
smells real vinegary at first, but
Yeah.
it doesn't taste nearly as bad.
Okay.
well,
Good to know. See, I don't know anything about sushi. Full disclosure, I've never had sushi.
you're missing out.
Am I missing out?
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure that out one day. What has led you to where you are now spiritually?
Ooh. Yeah, I know. This
How long did you
How
have?
long? Gosh, I feel like my spiritual journey didn't start. Okay, I can't say that. I grew up knowing God. Grew up in church every Sunday, and I don't ever remember a time that I didn't know about Jesus. And when we lived in Iowa, we were involved in a church and a youth group, you know, went on Wednesdays and Sundays and Sunday evening service and all that stuff. And I really loved going to church because I thought I was going to marry one of the guys there. I had the biggest crush on him. And honestly, that's why I really like church. And like I had friends there and they're fun, but like I don't think I could say honestly that I actually had a relationship with Jesus growing up. And then when we moved to Oklahoma, I just had a really hard time getting plugged into a church, wanting to. I was super angry as a teenager. I did not like that that we had moved. I did go to church. I went to church in Owasso. We went every Sunday. I went because my parents made me. And throughout high school, like I said, I knew about God. I've been fortunate to where I've never questioned his existence or been like, he doesn't, there's no God. I just didn't care that he was there. And it wasn't until I was probably, how old am I now? 20, I'll be 28. Like 24, 25, that, that's a big old span of time, that I just I was living in sin. I was depressed. I was angry. I had no hope about anything. Like, it was just like there was something not right in my life. There was something not there that was supposed to and always meant to be there. And Kara invited me to get involved with Life Hurts, God Heals at church here. And so I was like, okay, yeah, because she presented it and I totally, not the way it was, like, she was wrong. She told me that it was like, I went into this class thinking, okay, yay, I get to like help and like, talk to teenagers and stuff. Because at the time I was working at a school with troubled kids and I was like, yeah, I like doing that. I like helping kids and, being with them and stuff. And I thought it was like a one day, like, class type thing. And it was like a 12-week, I don't even know how long class that this guy taught over here. And at first I was like, what? Like, I was not ready for this. I did not sign up for this. I don't even think I stopped going. Like, I went to the first one and then I think I missed the second one. I think I lied to him and said that I had something, but I just really was like, nope, like, I can't do this right now. And then, something brought me back and I was like, okay, we'll try this again. And I really realized that from that class, that God was missing from my life. That, all the things, what I had been searching for, what I had been trying to fill with different stuff in my life was just a God-shaped hole. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I finished that class. It was a group class. And then I did another round just with Ian. And then I started teaching with the high schoolers. And so here I am today. I mean, and honestly, like, it does, like, when I tell that story, when I think about it, it is so sometimes surreal, because I never, like, if you had told me in high school, mm-hmm. or even after high school, or like when I was like 22 years old or whatever, if you had told me that I was invested in a church, that I was helping with youth, that I had a relationship with God, I would have probably laughed at you. I've been like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. I go on Christmas and Easter and that's mm-hmm. it. Like, so yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ian. What has led you to where you are now spiritually?
Man, okay. So I'll try to hit some highlights. A lot like what Chelsea said is the amazing thing about our God is that He wants a relationship with us before we know that He even exists. And so as we're gaining this head knowledge of, okay, God exists. Okay, wait a minute, God and Christ. Wait a minute, God, Christ, and Holy Spirit. We gain all this head knowledge. He is still pursuing a relationship with us. And that's my life, is I had lots of huge moments of just, oh, wait a minute, God exists. Okay, well that, for a 6-year-old, is about as much as I can handle. And then so, other big moments in my life happen, and I start to understand who He is. And there just gets to a point where all that understanding, all that head knowledge goes from, okay, it's a person, He is a person, but there's more. There's a relationship that He is trying to facilitate and to build on and to grow on. And so, I think that's a long version of what you said when we have that head knowledge of God, and then that expounds for a little bit, but then at some point in time, it just has to resonate inside of you. And church language is, head knowledge and heart knowledge. And so once that connection is made, from there, spiritual walk, it happens when you spend time with the Lord. And whether it's, in scripture or in prayer or both. But it also happens, I think when we experience the gospel one time and we just stop, that's really sad. We should be experiencing the gospel over and over and over again in our life, and the gospel is just Jesus loves us. And I think there's times when like spiritual growth happens solo, but spiritual growth happens when you take a class with someone, and you're leading both from the facilitator side and the attendee side. I don't know. When I took Chelsea through, there was spiritual growth, because I'm watching God work in someone else's life. How can you not grow from that? How can you, when you see God move, whether it's in your life or in someone else's, you can't help but grow spiritually. I can't help but grow spiritually. And so and just, different youth things and different youth, as I've watched youth grow and just be these really mean, grumpy people when they arrive. And now they're graduating this year, and man, they're different, right? And so boy, God did something in your life, and so how can you not, I don't know, does that answer?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
That's wonderful. Now, looking back, you're mentioning back to the teenagers and seeing the teenagers, and you guys both work inside of the youth ministry and been working there and here for a while. What advice do you wish you knew when you were their age?
Oh man, so much. Oh, Chelsea as a teenager was so scary. Like, sorry, mom and dad. Ooh. I wish that I didn't care so much about my image and how people saw me, and try to find my worth through their lenses and through their eyes. I wish that I knew that, yes, things happen in high school and it feels like it's like the end of your world, but I promise it's not. And I hear my mother saying this and it kind of is cringy, but for real, like, it's so true. Like, you will make it, I promise. Life does not end. And so I would just invest in things that are real, in friendships, relationships that fill you spiritually, and you can grow from that. And you know, invest in time with God and things. I wish I didn't, you know, I don't know, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool.
I think what I would really like to impart on younger Ian would be the concept of I lived a long time of my life, or a long portion of my life, being committed to Christ, being committed to God. But I wasn't surrendered. And that's huge.
Yeah.
We can be committed to God and to Christ and for long seasons of our lives and think that we're good and that's enough. It isn't. And I wish I would have realized that sooner in my life. I wish I would have, because I thought I was doing everything right. Because I was committed, but I wasn't surrendered. And I don't know if that's a concept that's even easy to explain. Hopefully you guys get it, but that's what I would like to tell my old self. And when I'm surrendered to Christ, things like, you know, achieving, seeing your value in other people.
Yeah.
I spend large times of my life doing that and seeking that because I was committed. And when I was more surrendered to Christ, it was like, okay, I'm going to be me, and that's a follower of Christ, and people will take it or leave it. And right, so hopefully that makes sense.
That does. Guys, I have one more question for you guys, and this is it. That's it. That's it. One more question.
We flew by.
That does. It flies by. What do you see as the biggest struggle for this generation, and what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, this is another question that I've been thinking a lot about. We don't know how to have conversations with people. I feel like there's so much technology and social media, and everyone has a phone by the time they're like 3 years old. And I mean, I'm on my phone a whole bunch, like I'm there. But you know, it's texting, it's looking at the phone and talking to someone, and also like watching TV at the same time. And we don't know, I mean, I'm awful at it, like how to communicate, how to talk to somebody and not get your feelings hurt because you guys have different points of views, or, you know, how to like read, like tone, you know, tone is a huge deal. And like texting, and you're like, oh, I don't like the way they said that. Well, like, if you just have a conversation, you might not, like, they might not have said it that way, type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think there's such a lack of communication, and what's the word? Words. Like when you relate to someone, it starts with an E, I think.
Empathy?
Yeah, empathy. We have no empathy. We have no empathy for people. And it's just sad because, like I said, I struggle with it. I really struggle with communication and stuff. But I just see the lack of communication leads to lack of empathy, and it just leads to all sorts of things, I think.
Yeah, I see that.
I think, I mean, as a kid growing up, you're forced into some quiet time, right? I mean, because at some point in time, there's no cartoons on TV, and it's just news.
Yep.
Not about that. As a kid, and so you almost had these forced disconnect times where you had to figure out the entertainment on your own. And I don't know that happens as much nowadays. There's constant entertainment. The cartoons are on 24 hours a day on multiple channels. And so I think I guess if you could boil it around, just one or two words would just be the ability to engage people, and which is relationships.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how we're at a point in our time where people that we will never meet, that we don't know, that we'll never experience, have a ton of time with us through the media that we're digesting, and we will assign it so much value, and time is valuable. If you're giving time to someone that you don't know on a media platform, sitting on TikTok or whatever the tons of different ones that are out there, if you're spending and giving them your time, that means that you are not giving time to other things or other people, including God, and including Christ and the Holy Spirit, and relationships and your friends, and so I think relationships, but I really worry that these guys are going to have very, very shallow relationships.
Yeah.
They may have a ton of relationships because they have so many friends and whatever, but I would look at it this way: if you're not comfortable talking about Jesus in these relationships, is it a relationship worth having? So relationships. I mean, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Looking at it different angles.
Cool. Man. I just want to thank you guys for coming and sharing. Do you have any other thoughts? Closing thoughts?
No.
Study, school's your buddy?
Oh.
Nothing like that?
I mean,
Doctor, you get to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I mean, I miss you guys, and I really cannot wait to be back at church with everybody and to see everyone again, and just kind of, I this time at home has had some sweet moments, and I think it's caused me to take a step back and just slow down, because I don't slow down. I like to go, and there's really nowhere to go right now. But I'm ready for life to go back and just take the little droplets of stuff from this time and take it into it. You don't have to commit to every single thing. You don't have to, you should slow down and take time with your family and invest in relationships and stuff. So yeah, I'm just excited.
Don't eat Yellowstone.
Don't.
That'd be bad.
That would be bad. All right. Well, thank you guys, and yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay.
You guys want to pray?
Do
You guys
As
want
long
to
as
pray?
it's a prayer
we?
circle.
Do we have to hold
everybody,
hands?
let's prayer circle. Okay. No, Ian, will you pray us out?
Sure.
Awesome.
Do you want to pray?
No, you can. You say.
Chelsea, do you want to pray?
No.
I'll hold your hand.
We can split the time.
I am holding my own hand. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's not Father. Thank you. Thank you that you're in control. And thank you that your ways are higher than our ways. And sometimes we need to just go, I don't like what's going on, but God, I trust you. And I think that hopefully a lot of Christians out there right now are having a season of that. Of God, I don't really like this separation, but you are in control. And you're not surprised by any of this. You know exactly when our church will start returning into fellowship together, in-person fellowship. And Lord, thank you for just being with us and getting us through this time, and hopefully it helps us realize how valuable fellowship really is, and that we love you. We thank you for just what you're doing in our lives. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Bye.
See ya.